Okay guys, today we are going to work with the comparative and superlative adjectives. This is the grammar section of Unit 5. Okay, let's begin. In this unit we are going to look at when we use comparative and superlative adjectives, when we use other forms with comparative, how we make comparative adjectives, how to make superlative adjectives. Okay, so let's begin with something. When do we use comparative and superlative adjectives? The first thing that you have to know is that comparative and superlative adjectives are those adjectives that we use in order to compare more than two things or maybe two things. Okay, you can't just compare just one thing. Okay, you always have to have a second thing to compare each other. Okay, so the new cinema is nicer than the old cinema, but the tickets are more expensive. It's bigger, so it's easier to find a good seat. We saw the Spider-Man film yesterday. So, I went for a picnic in the park yesterday. It was the hottest day of the year and the sunniest. I think the park is better than the cinema when the weather is good. It's cheaper too. Okay, but it was the best superhero film ever. Spider-Man climbs the tallest buildings in the city, and how many examples of comparative can you find in the conversation? There are more than one, okay? So let's wait. Okay, so we have 6. Look at what the girl says. The new cinema is nicer than the old cinema. Is she describing the cinemas or comparing them? She is comparing them. Okay? So, look at what the boy says. It was the hottest day of the year and the sunniest. Is he comparing the weather yesterday to one day or to all the other days in this year? All the other days. So that's the way comparative and superlative adjectives work. Okay, so comparative adjectives, we use it to compare two people, things, or places. For example, the new cinema is nicer than the old cinema, or the park is better than the cinema. Okay, here are two adjectives. So, the new cinema and the old cinema. We are comparing them, saying which one is nicer than the other one. And here we are comparing the park but with a cinema. So, we have to say which one is better than the other one. So, in this example, the tickets are more expensive. We don't need to mention both objects because we know we are talking about tickets for the two cinemas. Okay? So, the tickets are more expensive than the tickets for the old cinema. So, remember that it's not necessary to say than the tickets from the old cinema, because if you are saying that those are more expensive, that means that there are some tickets that maybe can be cheaper. Okay, so superlative adjectives work in another way. So to compare one person, thing, etc. to a group. So we have to say the best. Okay, so here is the best superhero film ever. The word best is to compare one film to all the other films or in a group of films. Okay, so if she is saying that this is the best superhero film ever, that means that there are more superhero films, and she is saying that that specific one is the best. Okay, let's see another example. It was the hottest day of the year and the sunniest. That means that the boy is comparing one day to all of the other days in the year. So that day was the hottest because it was so hot than the other ones. Okay, so Comparative adjectives are used to compare two people, things, or places, while superlative adjectives are used to compare one person, thing, etc. to a group. Okay, so when do we use not, as, and to enough? Okay, so first one, we use as plus adjective plus as to say that two things or people are the same in some way. Okay, for example, is the old cinema as nice as the new one? You're saying that the old cinema is the same as the new one if we are talking about nice things. No, but isn't as expensive as the new one either. That means that we can use it in a positive way and in a negative way. Okay, so the negative is not as. In this case, we are using a contraction, but we can say instead of isn't, is not. Okay, so two, we use adjective plus enough to mean the right amount. That means the exactly amount of things, okay? Was the park big enough to play a game of football? That means if the park was big in order to play, okay? Yes, but it was too hot to run around. That means that if we use to plus adjective in a negative way to mean more than the right amount, that means it's not the exactly amount. Okay? So, this has a negative meaning, less than the right amount. When do we use other forms with comparative? We don't only use comparative and superlative or as or to or enough. Okay, so look at this sentence. Where do they go in the table? The first one. Does she have short hair or is it a bit longer? What do you think? Yeah, this sentence describes a small difference. A bit means small, so that means that maybe they have not as similar as it seems, but a little bit than the other one, okay? This river is much wider than the one in my town. What do you think? Yeah, much describes a big difference, okay? Is much wider than the one in my town. That means that the difference is big enough, okay? I'm not quite as interested in arts as I am in sport. What do you think? Exactly, describes a small difference because quite as means a little bit. Is a synonym of a bit, right? And finally, I'm a lot nervous than you about flying. What do you think? Yeah, describes a big difference. A lot more means or is a synonym of a big. Okay? Do we make comparative and subjective and superlative adjectives? Maybe you are asking. Because we have here wider, but we don't have nervouser. We have longer, but we don't have interested. Okay, so let's see how do we make these kind of adjectives. Okay, so look at these parts of the conversation again. So let's use these examples to complete this chart. Okay, so we have 6 part of adjectives. Okay, we have most one-syllable adjectives. We have one-syllable adjectives ending in e, one-syllable adjectives ending in a vowel and then a consonant, two-syllable adjectives ending in y, long adjectives, 2 or more syllables, or irregular adjectives. So we start with cheaper. Okay, cheap is one syllable. Okay, you don't say cheap, you say cheap. Okay, it's just one. Let's continue. Nice, you say nicer, is here. It has one syllable adjective and ends in E. Nice. Nice. Let's continue. Bigger. So bigger has two G's because it ends in a vowel and then a consonant. So we have to add another consonant in order to continue pronunciating the word as in the adjective form, okay? If we said big, we have to say bigger. If we don't say this G, we are saying bigger, okay? Let's continue. Easier. Easier comes is here from the word easy. But we cannot add the E and the R here because it could sound like easier. Because remember, when the word ends in a vowel, in Y, here, the Y is a vowel. But if we add here a vowel next to the Y, that converts this word into a consonant. Okay, so that's why we, instead of Y, we use I-E-R. Okay, let's continue. More expensive. When the adjectives are longer than these ones, we use the word more to express that they can be to compare, okay? And finally, the irregular adjectives. We have better instead of good. We don't say gooder. Gooder is an invention, okay? It's a irregular adjective. We have 3 or 4 irregular adjectives, so this is one of them. Now look at the rules and add them to the table. The first one is here. Okay, so cheap, we have ER. Okay, we add ER because it ends with a consonant. The irregular adjectives doesn't have rules because remember, those are irregular. They have their own way to conjugate them. When they have an E at the end, the only thing that you have to add is an R. Next, when we have a consonant and it has to remain the same sound, we double the consonant and we add ER. In some cases, with the word that finish with that ends with Y, we delete the Y and we add IER. And finally, with all adjectives, we use the word more. Okay? Let's do the superlative adjectives. Let's look again. What are the superlative adjectives here? They are similar than the comparative adjectives. Maybe they have the same kind of rules, but they have different endings, okay? So, let's do the same. The first one, tall, the tallest. Okay? The tallest. The widest, that comes from the word wide. One syllable adjective ending in E. The hottest. You say that, it said hot. The hottest. One syllable adjective ending in a vowel and then a consonant. We have to double it. The sunniest. Two syllable adjectives ending in Y. The most exciting, a long adjective. The best, a irregular adjective. So let's review what are the rules. The first one is that we add D. Remember that we are saying that is the best one, okay? So we have to add the D. It finished with an E. We only add ST. We double the consonant here with EST. Here in the sunny, as in the example, previous example with Y, we delete the Y and then we add IEST. And finally, with long adjectives, we write the most. So this is the rule. They are quite similar between comparative and superlative. The only thing is that the ending changes. Okay? So, if you have any question, please ask. I'm going to post this table in a picture in the Google Classroom, so you don't have to worry about learning all the rules. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. See you soon.